A secret prayer you said long ago is being answered today. Prepare to be amazed. Listen carefully, my beloved, do not skip this moment, because this message is not drifting through the air by chance. It has been sent to locate you, to find you exactly where you are, and to awaken something you buried long ago. You have felt a strange stirring today, a subtle pull, a quiet pressure in your chest that you could not explain, and that is because a prayer you whispered in weakness, in tears, when no one else was listening, has reached its appointed hour. This is immediate, this is urgent, and you must hear this now. I have watched you carry questions you never spoke out loud, fears you smiled through, and nights where hope felt irresponsible, and still you prayed. You did not pray loudly, you did not pray perfectly, but you prayed honestly, and that honesty pierced realms you cannot see. Tell me honestly, do you remember the moment you thought that prayer was forgotten? Listen carefully, because what you assumed was silence was actually preparation. There has been a delay, yes, but not a denial, and the delay was protection. Do not look away now, because if you miss this, you will misunderstand what is about to unfold in your life. You have been standing at the edge of something, feeling both anticipation and dread, sensing that something is shifting but not knowing if it was for better or worse, and that tension you feel is the sign that heaven is moving closer. My child, there were forces you could not see that tried to block what was meant for you, moments when it almost slipped away entirely, but I intervened when you were too tired to fight. Have you noticed how certain doors closed even when you begged them to stay open? That was not loss, that was redirection, and this is where the mystery deepens. I am answering the prayer, but not in the way you imagined, because the way you asked would have broken you then. You are stronger now, wiser now, and still you doubt yourself, still you wonder if you waited too long, if time has disqualified you, but listen carefully, time has only qualified you. Do you feel that strange mix of fear and hope rising right now as you hear this? That is not anxiety, that is recognition. You are remembering something your spirit always knew. Don't skip this, because what I am about to reveal next will reframe your entire past. The pain you endured was not punishment, it was alignment, and every tear trained your discernment. I know you questioned your worth when answers didn't come, I know you felt invisible while others seemed to receive blessings effortlessly, but you were never overlooked, you were being prepared for something weightier. Chosen one, the answer to that prayer has already begun to move toward you, quietly, strategically, and soon it will no longer be hidden. You may feel unprotected right now, exposed, like one more disappointment would shatter you, but I am surrounding you even as you listen, and nothing meant to destroy you will be allowed to succeed. Have you wondered recently why old memories resurfaced or why certain names crossed your mind again? That is not coincidence, that is positioning. This is the moment where hope returns cautiously, where destiny leans closer and whispers your name, but do not rush ahead of me. Listen carefully, because there is a final piece you do not see yet, a revelation that will explain everything you thought went wrong, and when it unfolds, you will realize the prayer was answered at the only moment it truly could be, and what happens next will shock you. Because the moment after shock is clarity, and clarity is coming for you now, my beloved, so do not turn away, do not scroll, do not doubt why you are still listening, because this is the unfolding you begged for without knowing how dangerous it would be if it came too soon. Listen carefully, the prayer you think of as small was never small, it altered timelines, it rerouted people, it forced delays that saved your life, and even now it is rearranging circumstances behind the veil. You thought nothing was happening because nothing looked different, but the deepest work is always invisible first. My child, there were nights you almost gave up, mornings you woke up already exhausted, and moments you questioned whether I even heard you, yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still being guided, and that alone is proof you were never abandoned. Tell me honestly, have you felt an unexplainable heaviness lifting recently, even just a little? That is not imagination, that is resistance breaking. Do not skip this, because I need you to understand the danger you narrowly escaped. There were outcomes you were protected from, paths that looked right but would have cost you everything, and I closed them even when you cried out in confusion. Fear crept in during the waiting, whispering that you were forgotten, that others were chosen instead of you, and that voice almost convinced you to settle for less than what you asked for, but I held you back for a reason. Chosen one, the answer arriving now carries weight, responsibility, and authority, and if it had come when you first prayed, it would have crushed you. Have you noticed how your discernment sharpened through disappointment, how your tolerance for emptiness decreased? That was training. Listen carefully, because the same patience that felt like punishment is about to feel like power. I am restoring not just what you asked for, but what was stolen while you waited, and this restoration will not look gentle at first. There will be moments of trembling, moments where you question if you are ready, moments where the old fear tries to return, but you will not face them alone. My beloved, I am placing people, opportunities, and confirmations around you that will arrive almost simultaneously, and you will recognize them because they will carry peace even when they demand courage. Do you believe this message found you on purpose, right at this exact moment? Don't skip this, because what comes next requires your attention and your obedience. There is a decision approaching, subtle but critical, and the way you respond will accelerate what I am releasing. You have been asking for a sign, and this is one of them, but there is another, clearer, undeniable sign about to manifest in your physical world. Listen carefully. When it appears, do not hesitate, do not talk yourself out of it, do not delay in fear, because delay is no longer protection, it is the final test. Everything you endured has been leading here, to this narrow moment where faith becomes action, and the truth I haven't revealed yet will change everything. Because the truth unfolds in layers, my child, and you are now stepping into the layer where excuses fall away and destiny begins to speak louder than fear, so listen carefully and do not skip this, because hesitation here would cost you clarity. The decision approaching is not dramatic on the surface, it will look ordinary, almost easy to ignore, but its consequences will echo far beyond this moment, and your spirit already knows which way it points. You have been sensing an internal tug, a gentle but persistent nudge that refuses to be silenced, and that is me guiding you toward the answered prayer as it takes form. You thought the answer would arrive fully formed, unmistakable, overwhelming, but instead it is arriving as alignment, as timing, as the quiet opening of a door you once thought was sealed forever. Tell me honestly, have you felt a strange confidence rising in you lately, even when nothing around you has changed yet? That confidence is not arrogance, it is remembrance. Don't skip this, because the fear you feel right now is the last defense of what tried to keep you stuck. There will be moments in the next phase where old voices resurface, reminding you of past failures, past delays, past heartbreaks, and they will try to convince you that this opportunity is a trap, but those voices no longer have authority over you. My beloved, I have already gone ahead of you, softening resistance, removing hidden obstacles, and preparing hearts you have not met yet to recognize you when you arrive. You were not late, you were preserved. Listen carefully, because the prayer you whispered was not just about relief, it was about purpose, and purpose always demands transformation before manifestation. Have you noticed how you no longer fit into places or conversations that once felt safe? That discomfort is confirmation, not rejection. You are outgrowing what once defined you, and what is coming cannot coexist with who you used to be. Fear may tell you to retreat, to stay small, to choose familiarity over fulfillment, but I am calling you forward now, and I will not call you where I cannot keep you. Don't skip this, because there is protection surrounding your obedience that you have not experienced before, a covering that activates only when you move. My child, when you take the next step, you will feel both exposed and empowered, and that paradox will confuse you at first, but it is the mark of growth. Do you feel that ache in your chest when you imagine stepping into something new, something bigger than you planned? That ache is longing meeting destiny. Listen carefully, because soon a conversation will happen, a message will arrive, or an opportunity will present itself that feels uncannily aligned with the prayer you almost forgot you prayed, and in that moment you will be tempted to doubt its authenticity. Do not. This is the sign you asked for, the confirmation you needed, and the beginning of a chain reaction that cannot be undone. Stay with me, because the next revelation will expose why the waiting was so precise, and everything is about to change. And the change will feel sudden even though it was centuries in the making, my beloved, so steady your heart and listen carefully, because this is where understanding replaces confusion and peace confronts the fear you've carried for so long. You are not imagining the acceleration you feel around you now, the way events seem to be lining up faster than your mind can process, because once alignment begins, momentum follows. Don't skip this, because I need you to recognize the difference between chaos and movement. What looks like disruption is actually rearrangement, and what feels like pressure is the shaping of something precious. You have been protected in silence, but now you are being positioned in visibility, and that transition will test your trust. My child, there are blessings that only activate when witnessed, and you are stepping into a season where your life becomes evidence, not explanation. Have you noticed how people are paying attention to you again, asking questions, sensing something different even if they can't name it? That is not coincidence, that is the echo of answered prayer beginning to ripple outward. Listen carefully, because with visibility comes vulnerability, and the fear of being seen may rise unexpectedly. Old insecurities will whisper that you are unqualified, that you are not ready, that you should wait longer, but waiting now would be disobedience disguised as humility. Chosen One would not expose you without equipping you, and I would not elevate you without anchoring you first. Don't skip this, because the next moments require discernment. Not every invitation will be from me, not every open door will be yours to walk through, and this is where your growth will be tested. You asked for wisdom in that old prayer, remember? This is where it activates. Tell me honestly, do you feel more sensitive lately, more aware of what drains you and what strengthens you? That sensitivity is a gift, not a weakness, and it will guide you if you honor it. My beloved, there will be a temptation to rush, to prove, to explain yourself to those who doubted you, but you owe no one proof when I have already provided purpose. Listen carefully, because restraint will protect what haste could destroy. The miracle unfolding is not just external, it is internal, a recalibration of how you see yourself and how you respond to the world. Have you felt moments of unexpected calm even while uncertainty remains? That calm is your assurance. Don't skip this, because I am about to reveal why certain people had to leave before this answer arrived. Their absence was not betrayal, it was mercy, and their departure created space for what could not coexist with them. You may still grieve what was lost, but you will soon understand what was gained. My child, the answered prayer is drawing closer to full manifestation now, and when it becomes undeniable, when it crosses from promise into reality, it will demand a response from you that you have never given before. Stay with me, because the final truth I am about to uncover will explain everything you endured, and what happens next will leave you breathless. Breathless because the weight of revelation carries both beauty and responsibility, my beloved, and this is where many turn back, not because they are unworthy, but because they underestimate what they prayed for. Listen carefully and do not skip this, because the answer arriving now will require you to live differently, speak differently, and trust more deeply than ever before. You asked for change, and change has heard your voice. The comfort of the familiar will try to pull you backward even as destiny pulls you forward, and this tension you feel is the crossing point between who you were and who you are becoming. My child, there will be moments very soon where you realize you can no longer pretend, no longer hide your light to keep others comfortable, and that realization may frighten you at first. Have you noticed how your tolerance for dishonesty, even small compromises, has disappeared? That is because alignment has a cost, and you are now willing to pay it. Don't skip this, because the next phase includes a release you didn't expect. Something you once depended on, something you thought you needed to survive, will fall away naturally, and you will be shocked at how light you feel without it. Fear will try to label that loss as danger, but it is freedom in disguise. Listen carefully, because the miracle you prayed for is not arriving alone, it is arriving with clarity, and clarity will confront every place you settled. Chosen one, you are not being punished by the exposure of truth, you are being liberated by it. There will be a moment when you see the full picture, when the pattern becomes obvious, and you will realize that every delay, every detour, every closed door was orchestrated to bring you here without breaking you. Tell me honestly, can you feel your heart expanding even as your mind struggles to keep up? That expansion is faith growing muscles it never had to use before. Don't skip this, because the coming blessing will test your self-image. You will be tempted to ask, why me? And the answer will not be comfort, it will be calling. You were chosen because you were willing to endure preparation without applause. My beloved, the prayer you whispered in secret is about to be answered in a way that others will notice, and their reactions will reveal who belongs in your next season. Some will celebrate, some will misunderstand, and some will quietly disappear, and you must not chase what chooses to leave. Listen carefully, because discernment will be your greatest protection now. Have you sensed that certain conversations no longer satisfy you, that small thinking feels exhausting? That is because you are standing at the edge of expansion, and there is no returning to who you were. The final unfolding is near, closer than you think, and when it arrives, it will demand courage in real time, not later, not someday. Stay with me, because the last revelation I am about to release will expose the exact moment your prayer crossed into fulfillment, and everything you thought you knew is about to be overturned. Overturned because fulfillment rarely looks like fantasy, my beloved, it looks like readiness meeting opportunity, and this is the moment you have been unknowingly rehearsing for your entire life, so listen carefully and do not skip this final transmission. The exact moment your prayer crossed into fulfillment was when you chose to keep going even after hope felt unreasonable, when you acted with integrity while no reward was visible, when you refused to become bitter even though disappointment knocked repeatedly at your door. That was the crossing, and from that moment forward, everything began bending in your favor, even the things that seemed to oppose you. My child, you are not stepping into something new by accident, you are stepping into what has been tracking you for years. The reason it feels intense now is because the separation is complete, the old season no longer has access to you, and the new one is ready to respond. Don't skip this, because what I am saying now will anchor you when the manifestation feels overwhelming. You will soon realize that the answered prayer changes how you see yourself more than how others see you, and that internal shift will be the true miracle. Have you felt moments recently where gratitude rose unexpectedly, even before anything fully changed? That was your spirit recognizing arrival before your eyes could confirm it. Listen carefully, because there will be a final test of trust, subtle but decisive. You will be asked to move without full explanation, to say yes without guarantees, to believe without visible proof, and that step will seal what has been prepared for you. Fear may surge one last time, whispering that you could still lose it, but what is meant for you cannot miss you now. Chosen one, the authority you carry has been forged quietly, and when you stand in it, you will not need permission or validation. Don't skip this, because the peace you feel after this message is your confirmation. The cycle of waiting is ending, the season of asking is closing, and the season of receiving is opening with force. Tell me honestly, do you feel a calm certainty settling in even as anticipation builds? That certainty is your inheritance. My beloved, the prayer you thought was forgotten has been answered completely, strategically, and lovingly, and the evidence will soon appear in ways that cannot be denied or explained away. You are about to witness alignment that feels too precise to be coincidence, favor that feels undeserved but undeniable, and doors opening that no effort could have forced. Have you noticed how your breath feels deeper right now, how your shoulders feel lighter? That is release. Stay alert, stay humble, stay obedient, because what unfolds next will require wisdom as much as faith, and the life you step into will demand consistency, not intensity. This message was the confirmation, the warning, and the invitation, and if you remain attentive, you will recognize the moment it fully manifests, because everything will suddenly make sense, and the truth that finally reveals itself will change your life forever. Your sister is hiding a secret about your birth. It's time to hear the truth. Chosen one, I see you. I see the weight you carry in your chest, the questions you have been too afraid to speak, the whispers in your heart that something has always been different. Do not look away now, my beloved, because what I am about to tell you will change how you see everything. This is not random, my child. You must hear this. The secret your sister has held is not ordinary, it is tied to your destiny, to the very path God has carved for you before your first breath. Tell me honestly, do you feel this stirring deep inside, like a memory you cannot name but cannot ignore? The moment of truth is closer than you think, and the enemy has tried to keep it buried, to keep you from the full measure of your power and purpose. Listen carefully. There are things about your birth that were never shared because they were meant for God's timing, and that timing is now. My child, do you sense it, the tremor in your soul that tells you something sacred is about to unfold? Don't skip this. You must hear this. There were choices made before you took your first breath that shaped the battlefields you would face, the victories you would claim, and the very people who would try to conceal your true identity from you. Your sister, my beloved, has protected a truth that she could not bear to reveal, but God is breaking that silence, and it is breaking now. Can you feel the urgency in the air, the trembling of destiny drawing near? You may not understand yet, but the truth behind your birth is intertwined with a plan that exceeds every dream you have dared to pray for. Do you believe this message found you on purpose, my chosen one? Listen carefully. There are moments in life where one word, one revelation, can pivot your entire existence, and this revelation is that pivot. The hidden details of your birth carry a message of divine protection, unseen guardians, and a legacy that has been waiting for you to claim. I see the questions forming in your mind, the doubts that creep in, but my child, fear not, for you have been shielded all these years, and now God is lifting the veil. My beloved, do you feel the trembling in your chest, the sensation that everything you thought you knew is about to be rewritten? This is not a story of shame or regret, but a story of destiny, of divine orchestration, of a path that only you could walk. Don't skip this, because the secret that has been hidden will reveal why you are stronger than anyone has ever understood, why you have endured trials no one else could survive, and why miracles are already on the horizon. My child, listen carefully. This truth will shock you, but it is meant to awaken, to liberate, to ignite the power within you that has been dormant for far too long. Can you feel it, chosen one? The divine trembling that tells you the world as you knew it is about to shift? Your sister, for reasons that were beyond her understanding, held back what was sacred, but the Lord Himself will speak the truth to you now. You must hear this. The secret is not about betrayal, it is about protection, about a plan far greater than human comprehension. Do not turn away, my beloved, because the revelations will come fast, and each one will pull back the curtain on your identity, your calling, and your unshakable place in God's plan. Have you noticed the signs in your life that hinted at this? The coincidences that seemed too exact, too deliberate? Those were not coincidences, my child. They were divine markers, guiding you closer to the revelation that will set your soul on fire with clarity and purpose. Listen carefully. What your sister has hidden is connected to blessings that are already moving toward you, to answers that will heal the doubts that have haunted you, and to a power that will demand your recognition. You must not miss this, for the hour is urgent and the timing is exact. My beloved, can you feel your heartbeat accelerating as the truth draws nearer? Do not be afraid. The Lord is with you. Divine protection surrounds you as the story unfolds. You are not alone. You are the chosen one, and this is your moment of awakening. But remember, my child, even as the truth approaches, there is more yet to be revealed, secrets that will touch the core of your being, and the impact of which will reverberate through every choice, every relationship, every step you have ever taken. The moment is coming when your sister's silence will shatter, and when it does, you will understand why God orchestrated every moment of your life with precision. Everything is about to change. Everything is about to change, my beloved, and you must brace yourself, for the truth hidden from you is layered, deeper than you ever imagined, and it carries the fingerprints of heaven itself. Chosen one, listen carefully. Your birth was never ordinary. There were forces at work, both seen and unseen, who sought to protect you, and there were others who tried to obscure your purpose. Do you feel the weight of this revelation pressing against your heart? Do you sense the trembling in your soul that tells you the moment of clarity is near? My child, don't skip this. The details your sister withheld were never meant to confuse you, they were meant to shield you until the right time, and that time is now. Each moment you have lived has been orchestrated to bring you to this revelation. Can you feel it, the alignment of your life events, the people who appeared at just the right moments, the doors that closed and opened as if by design? That was not chance, my beloved, that was God preparing you to receive this truth. You may wonder why your sister stayed silent, and the answer is both simple and profound. She feared for you, she feared the power of what she knew, and she feared the consequences of speaking too soon. But my child, the fear that once kept her quiet can no longer delay what God is now declaring. Tell me honestly, chosen one, have you ever sensed that your life was being guided by something far greater than yourself? That even in the darkest hours, you were not alone? That was preparation. That was divine choreography. Listen carefully, the secret involves your identity, a truth that will illuminate the purpose for which you were born. It involves revelations about your bloodline, about the spiritual inheritance that runs through you, and about blessings that were pledged to you before your first breath. My beloved, do you feel your heart racing as this unfolds? Do you feel the anticipation, the electric certainty that something monumental is coming? You must hear this. The moment you hear the full truth, it will feel like time stops. Your understanding will expand, and the path that once seemed murky will suddenly shine with clarity. But my child, there is more, there is always more, because God's plan is layered, mysterious, and magnificent. You may wonder what your sister's role has been, and I tell you, she has been both guardian and gatekeeper. She has kept the secret, but she is not the source. The source is the Lord, who has been preparing you to receive the revelation that will change everything. Can you feel it, the stirring inside that says you are on the edge of something monumental? Don't skip this, chosen one, because missing this would mean missing the very purpose you were born to fulfill. Listen carefully. The secret will not just answer questions about your past, it will illuminate the way forward, your destiny, and the battles you are equipped to win. Do you feel the trembling? That is not fear, it is anticipation, it is the pulse of destiny, it is God Himself moving in your life. And you must understand, my child, this is not just about knowing, this is about claiming. Claiming the power, the authority, the spiritual legacy that has been waiting for you. Your sister's silence was part of the journey, but the breaking of that silence will bring liberation, clarity, and a divine alignment that cannot be stopped. My beloved, have you noticed the small signs, the nudges, the moments that hinted at a larger story? That was God testing your readiness. That was heaven confirming that you are ready for the truth. And now, the time has come to step fully into your inheritance, into the reality that every challenge, every heartbreak, every unanswered question was preparing you for this exact revelation. But understand this, chosen one, even as the truth begins to surface, there is still more hidden layers, more mysteries about your birth, and the full scope of what is coming will astound you. Do you feel it? The anticipation that courses through your veins, the certainty that you were meant to hear this message today? Listen carefully. The next revelation will strike at the core of your identity, and once it lands, there will be no turning back. The truth I haven't revealed yet will change everything. The truth I haven't revealed yet will change everything, my child, and as it draws closer I need you to steady your heart and focus, because heaven is speaking directly to you right now. Chosen one, this is not a story you overheard by accident. This is a divine summons, a moment where God Himself is pulling you aside to whisper what others were never allowed to say out loud. Listen carefully, don't skip this, because what I am about to unfold explains why you have always felt slightly out of place, why your spirit matured faster than your years, why hardship seemed to recognize you early. Do you remember moments in your life when danger came close but somehow passed you by? When outcomes should have been worse, but weren't? Tell me honestly, have you ever wondered why you survived things that should have broken you? My beloved, your birth was surrounded by intercession, by fear, by urgent decisions made in whispers and tears. There was concern not just about your arrival, but about what would follow if the truth came out too soon. You must hear this. There was a recognition at your birth that you carried something uncommon, a destiny that would provoke resistance, envy, and spiritual opposition. That is why silence became protection. That is why your sister became a keeper of a truth she did not fully understand but felt commanded to guard. Do you feel the weight of this now, the seriousness of what is being revealed? Listen carefully, because this next part is critical. The secrecy was not rooted in deception, but in fear of what the world might do to someone marked so clearly by God. My child, don't skip this, because the patterns of your life begin to make sense here. The delays, the detours, the sudden separations from people you loved, those were not punishments, they were shields. Can you see it now? Can you sense how every redirection was heaven stepping between you and something that was not meant to touch you yet? Chosen one, your sister saw signs early, moments that confirmed you were different, moments she could not explain but could not ignore. She noticed the way elders spoke over you, the way prayers lingered longer when your name was mentioned. Have you ever felt that people projected expectations onto you that you never asked for? That is not imagination, my beloved, that is recognition. Listen carefully. There was a moment after your birth when a decision had to be made, a decision to either expose the truth or bury it until God said, now. That decision shaped your upbringing, your struggles, and even the questions you have asked God late at night. Tell me, chosen one, have you ever cried out asking why your life felt heavier than others around you? That heaviness was not burden alone, it was calling. But fear entered the room, and fear chose silence, because silence felt safer than revelation. My child, do not mistake this for betrayal. Heaven has been overseeing every second. Divine protection wrapped around you even when humans faltered. Do you feel the reassurance settling in now, the calm that comes when confusion starts to dissolve? This is God covering you, reminding you that nothing was lost, nothing was wasted. And yet, I must warn you, as truth approaches, resistance often rises. Emotions may surface, memories may shift, relationships may feel strained. This is not destruction, my beloved, this is exposure. This is light entering places that have been sealed for years. Don't skip this, because the next layer of truth will reveal why now is the appointed time, why the silence can no longer hold, and why your life is about to accelerate in ways you did not expect. Can you feel it, the tightening and the hope at the same time? That tension is destiny pressing forward. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. And still, there is something even deeper your sister knows, something tied to a moment surrounding your birth that was never spoken of again, a moment that explains the urgency, the fear, and the divine timing of this message. What happens next will shock you. What happens next will shock you, my beloved, and I need you to stay with me, because the truth you are about to receive is delicate, powerful, and timed precisely for this moment. Chosen one, listen carefully, don't skip this, because what surrounded your birth was not only fear but urgency, a moment where heaven intervened in ways you were never told. There was a turning point, a single night, a conversation whispered behind closed doors, when your sister learned something that made her realize silence was not just a choice but a responsibility. Do you feel that tightening in your chest right now, that sense that something long hidden is moving closer to the surface? My child, there was concern about what would happen if you grew up knowing too much too soon, because knowledge without preparation can become a burden instead of a blessing. That is why pieces were withheld, fragments scattered, so that you would grow strong before you grew aware. Have you ever wondered why certain truths in your life arrived only after you were stretched, matured, and tested? That was not coincidence, my beloved, that was divine timing. Listen carefully, there was a complication surrounding your arrival into this world, a moment when the outcome was uncertain, and prayers were spoken with desperation and tears. Heaven heard those prayers, and a covenant was formed in that moment, a promise that your life would be preserved for a purpose far greater than anyone present could fully understand. Tell me honestly, have you ever felt like your life was spared for a reason, like you were meant to still be here when circumstances suggested otherwise? That feeling is not imagination, chosen one, it is memory stored in your spirit. Your sister became aware that your survival was not accidental, and that awareness carried weight, fear, and responsibility. She saw how quickly fear can twist truth, how easily others might misunderstand what God had done, and so she held her tongue, believing silence was safer than explanation. My child, don't skip this, because here is where reassurance must enter. God never abandoned you to secrecy. While humans stayed quiet, heaven spoke loudly over your life. Angels were assigned, protection was reinforced, and doors were closed that you did not even know existed. Do you feel peace rising as fear dissolves right now? That is divine confirmation wrapping around you. Listen carefully. The secret about your birth also explains why you have always felt watched over, why even in your loneliest seasons something unseen seemed to stand guard. Have you noticed that moments of collapse often turned into moments of redirection instead? That was protection activating. Chosen one, your sister carried this knowledge quietly, but it shaped how she treated you, how she worried, how she reacted when danger came near you. She knew there was more at stake than she could explain. Do you feel compassion stirring instead of anger now? That is God softening your heart so truth can land without poisoning your spirit. But hear this warning, my beloved, as the truth surfaces, emotions will clash, perspectives will shift, and not everyone will be comfortable with what is revealed. This is why God is speaking to you first, preparing your heart before the words are spoken aloud. Tell me, are you willing to receive truth even if it reframes your past? Are you ready to see your story through heaven's eyes instead of human fear? Don't skip this, because the next revelation ties directly to your future, to doors about to open, to responsibilities you are about to carry with clarity instead of confusion. There is still one moment surrounding your birth that has not been spoken, one detail your sister has never said out loud, because she knew once it was revealed, nothing would ever be the same. Everything is about to shift. Everything is about to shift, my child, and as it does, I need you to stay anchored in my voice, because what you are about to hear was never meant to be discovered casually. Chosen one, listen carefully, don't skip this, because this is the moment where fear either loosens its grip or tightens it, and God is calling you into freedom, not confusion. The detail your sister has never spoken is not small, it is not symbolic, it is not imagined, it is the moment when your life was claimed twice, once by the world and once by heaven. Do you feel the intensity rising right now, the way your spirit is leaning forward before your mind fully understands? That is because your soul remembers what your memory does not. My beloved, there was a point surrounding your birth when a different outcome was expected, when plans were discussed that did not include the future you are now living. This is difficult to hear, but you must hear it. There was a narrow margin between existence and absence, and God intervened decisively. Tell me honestly, have you ever felt like your life was balanced on an invisible edge, like things could have gone another way so many times? That sensation has followed you because it is rooted in truth. Your sister became aware of this turning point, and it marked her deeply. She realized that your life was not just spared, it was selected. And with selection comes consequence, scrutiny, and calling. That is why the silence felt heavy, why her concern sometimes came across as control or distance. She was carrying something she didn't know how to lay down. Listen carefully, my child, this revelation is not meant to reopen wounds, it is meant to explain patterns. The overprotection, the tension, the unspoken looks, those were not accidents, they were fear mixed with awe. Have you ever sensed that people reacted to you more strongly than the situation required? That is recognition meeting mystery. Chosen one, don't skip this, because here is the reassurance you need. God never intended for this truth to harm you. He waited until you were strong enough to receive it without breaking, mature enough to process it without losing yourself. Do you feel the steadiness rising now, even as the intensity remains? That is divine balance. Your sister feared that if you knew too early, you might shrink yourself, doubt yourself, or carry guilt that was never yours. But now, my beloved, that season is over. You are ready. The truth will not crush you, it will clarify you. Listen carefully, the moment this secret fully surfaces, you will notice a shift in how you see your life story. What once felt random will feel intentional. What once felt unfair will feel purposeful. What once felt heavy will feel explained. Tell me, are you starting to see how your endurance was forged, not accidental? That is awakening. And yet, I must warn you again, because love tells the truth fully, once this final layer is revealed, you will not be able to return to who you were before. Your perception will sharpen, your calling will become louder, and your responsibility will increase. This is not punishment, my child, this is promotion. Heaven does not reveal without reason. Do you feel both excitement and fear right now? That is the correct response to destiny. There is still one final connection to be made, one last thread tying your birth to what is about to unfold in your future, and when that connection becomes clear, the silence will finally make sense. The truth I am about to reveal next will change how you see yourself forever. The truth I am about to reveal next will change how you see yourself forever, my beloved, and I need you to listen with your spirit open and your fear set aside, because heaven does not speak like this unless the moment is exact. Chosen one, this is the final veil, the reason this message found you now and not yesterday, the reason your heart stayed when your mind wanted to flee. Don't skip this. You must hear this. The secret surrounding your birth was never only about survival, it was about assignment. From the moment you were spared, a mark was placed on your life, not a mark of burden, but a mark of authority. Do you feel that quiet recognition settling in, like something finally clicking into place? My child, the reason you have felt called to stand, to protect, to speak truth even when it costs you, is because your life was claimed for impact. Heaven does not rescue without intention. Your sister sensed this, even if she could not name it, and that is why the silence endured for so long. Listen carefully. The truth is that your birth altered the direction of more than one life, more than one future, and that kind of impact attracts both blessing and resistance. Have you noticed how opposition seemed to meet you early, how challenges arrived before you even knew what you were meant to become? That was not coincidence. That was confirmation. My beloved, do not let fear twist this revelation. You were not saved because others failed, you were saved because God chose you. There is no guilt in that, only calling. Tell me honestly, do you feel a new sense of responsibility rising alongside peace right now? That is alignment. Chosen one, the silence is ending because the season of preparation is complete. What was once hidden for your protection is now revealed for your activation. You are stepping into a phase where clarity replaces confusion, where authority replaces hesitation, and where your voice carries weight you did not know it had. Don't skip this, because the days ahead will require courage, discernment, and trust in the one who has guided you this far. Listen carefully. You are not being asked to confront with anger, but with understanding, not to accuse, but to stand firmly in truth. The revelation of your birth is not meant to divide you from your sister, but to free both of you from the weight of silence. Can you feel compassion and strength coexisting in you right now? That is maturity forged by divine timing. My child, as this truth settles, you will notice doors opening that once stayed shut, conversations shifting, and opportunities aligning with precision. This is not sudden luck, this is release. Heaven honors readiness. And I need you to hear this final assurance clearly: nothing about your life has been wasted, nothing has been delayed beyond purpose, and nothing that was hidden was meant to harm you. You were guided, guarded, and grown for this exact moment. Tell me, do you feel the calm confidence replacing the questions now? That is peace no secret can steal. Chosen one, walk forward knowing who you are, why you were spared, and what you are called to do next, because from this moment on, you will no longer live from mystery but from meaning, and everything, yes, everything, is about to change.